Hey everyone, welcome to 5 More Minutes, the show where two friends relive their childhoods or, in some cases, learn about everything they missed out on. I'm Kendra.
And I'm Scott.
Hell yeah, you are, bitch.
It's a very dramatic reading today.
Well, I've been in a bad mood all day because of my students.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's so sophomores, and
No
next
damn
trimester, like
sophomores.
almost all of my students are sophomores, so it's gonna be worse.
It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, they don't really understand what school is, I think, because they pretty much went from middle school to high school. And then they always like complain about my class to the upperclassmen I have in my class. And then my upperclassmen always tell me what they say.
Mm-hmm.
They also try to be like, they also try to like defend me, but apparently it doesn't work. But one of them told me that someone said that I don't even teach them. I just give them work and then grade it hard.
Ah,
And I was like, I mean, do they expect me to lecture every day for an hour in an English class? Because that's also not what teaching English is.
yeah.
But then I also found out that in their ninth grade classes, they were like primarily just copying notes like word for word all year. And that's seems a pretty like a ineffective way to teach English. So
Yeah. It's not very useful, I don't think.
yeah, bitch. I got
Yeah,
my
bitch.
shoes.
Look at that.
Normally I wear purple on Fridays, but I think I'm gonna wear these tomorrow.
No
And
snap.
I don't like the Jordan ones I have right now because I think that they look funny on me,
Mm-hmm.
the gold ones. But I think it's just because of the foam. Like this, because it's thicker and it has like this cushion, I feel like sits with my pants better. You know what I mean? Like, because the Zoom, I don't know if you have any like that, but it's like thinner and it's just like exposed foam, and I think it looks weird.
Yeah.
That's how come I think I have so much trouble. But the laces are too long for me to. I don't like them when they're like too loose. Laces. I tried every method of getting the laces to take up space so that I could just like have them out the top hole. I have not succeeded yet. And all this dog
Mm.
hair is just from me sitting on the couch and putting the laces in.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But they're just so pretty. Like, look at that detail, people on the internet. I mean, it doesn't show up good in here, but like, look at it.
Look at it. You look at it.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time not buying all the shoes that I want this month because, I mean, I think those dunks are going to be impossible to get anyway. So I'm probably not the tall ones, but like the sold ones.
Yeah.
And uh, I'll still go over the dunk highs. But those Air Maxes that they added yesterday, I like because I like my Air Maxes like a lot. And those are like a nice color. Like I could probably wear them like a lot. But then I'm just like, Air Maxes don't usually like just normal Air Maxes don't usually like sell out right away.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Usually make more of those.
I actually like to wear all my shoes, but I have so many that I wear them like once every 3 weeks or something, So like there's too many.
There is. I got to the point where I'm just, you know, we're just getting them. We'll sort it out later. That
Well,
type of thing.
you have a slightly more disposable income than me, so
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
but I'm coaching softball and I might do summer school because they do online summer school and it's like half days and you just like sit there and open assessments for them and stuff. So it's like really easy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Hell yeah. But I entered 5 raffles today for those Almas.
Good luck. I just entered for each on the site. We'll see.
There's another website that has them. It
I did
was
it on two sites.
oh yeah, so those are the same two I did.
Yeah. So
And
I
then
did
I
my
did
work.
the Discord one and it was just like react to this post. I was like, okay.
You say so, dude.
I've also discovered that they're having a Nike is having like a computing issue where it's not updating your tracking
Mm,
because I just got tracking like a tracking number finally for the shoes I bought on like the 7th. And then I immediately, like an hour later, was followed by a FedEx thing saying my package would be delivered tomorrow. And when the tracking history loaded, they actually shipped out on the 13th. And it
Makes
just
sense.
wasn't,
Yeah.
it wasn't, it wasn't updating.
Not loading.
Also, if any of you bitches wear size 6 women's, please buy these.
Buy them. Do you have them listed on eBay?
Yeah. I lowered it like 3 times and I sent an offer to the 2 watchers like twice.
Yeah. It's
But
spam
someone
send
bought those
offers.
stupid foam posits for like $25.
Yeah, people are weird.
I also got these shorts in a mystery game, and they're definitely not my style. They're also kind of small for a large, I feel like.
No,
So I
yeah.
just have those on there for a bid.
Yeah,
I mean,
why
they're
not?
like expensive shorts. They're like $80 shorts.
See
I
what
think I
happens.
spent like $34 on the mystery game. So if I get a little bit of that, it's fine. It's at
Yeah.
10.50 right now, and there's 11 watchers. So
Hey, there you go.
yeah,
Surprised there's
82
that many
views. That's
people
my most
watching
viewed
for those.
item. 82 viewed.
And it's like one of the cheapest items you have on there.
Well, I have a bunch. I took pictures of a bunch of like name brand clothes I was gonna take to the thrift store just to see if like anything would happen, but nothing's happened. So
Uh Makes sense.
yeah, sometimes there's a market for that stuff. Sometimes there's not.
Yeah.
Anyways, this has been Shoe Corner. I feel like
Shoe
that's
corner
just
of the
what we
week.
should name the segment.
Yeah, it's just, every week get some updates, get some hot drops coming, You know
Yeah,
how it is.
it did
Yeah.
actually notify me that I didn't get that drop though for the ones. It
It
sent me a
emailed me.
notification. Oh, I got like the app notification. I don't know if I got an email one. I don't
Mm,
know. I set it to your size like before they dropped those so that I wouldn't have to try to. I mean, I know it was a draw, but sometimes the app gets like really glitchy when you're trying to like change things in
yeah.
the like payment menu. Like when I tried to get those dunks, I had to change the size and then it made me scan my face ID like 4 times to submit my payment. And I was like, I've never had this problem before. Like I've never had to rescan my face.
Right. It's supposed to eliminate those problems, I thought.
Yeah, and then we had early release yesterday and we had an hour lunch, so I was trying to watch the live in case they did a shock drop, which they did, but it was just for those Air Maxes. And the live just kept going to black. Like it's like wasn't
Oh,
working. And I was
that's
like,
pretty cool.
cool. And then later I found out there was a drop and I was like, wow, the one live that I was trying to watch in case there was a drop and it just like wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you doing
We have
anything
shoe
fun
problems.
for this coming weekend?
Probably grading and then
Fun.
cooking all my food for this week and all my food for the next week so I can put it in the freezer and not have to cook it when I get back from Seattle.
Ah, I see. Exciting
Yeah.
times. Food prep and grading. Wow.
Yeah. I have a
So
lot of
jealous.
projects to grade for my college class.
You got any dumb jokes for us this week?
No, because I knew I was going to get off on a rant about my sophomores and then talk about shoes, so I didn't look any up.
Nice. Nice. I got my twos,
Oh yeah.
and I did find the red ones for retail too. So
Oh nice. I think I saw. Wait, where'd you get them from?
the sneakers.
Oh, they were in there again.
Yeah, I just randomly checked and they had them in my size.
Sometimes that's happened because like those burgundy Air Maxes that I liked, and then they were sold out for like 2 weeks. They're in there again in like all sizes.
Yeah. Probably people cancel, we get a little restock or something.
Yeah, or they like refund them, or I also think since they announced that they were trying to cut down on the bots or whatever, that they might be like going through those orders and then having more stock left over or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Those it's hard to because your lighting is so weird in that room. I can't. I know that those are green, but like, are those the green ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I can't tell. Like they look
Right.
black. Like yeah, your lighting is weird in there.
I know it is. I think I just need a better camera. I don't think it's really the lighting.
That's true. Because didn't you get a ring light?
Yeah, it's on right now.
Yeah, and like my camera's like pretty okay. I mean, it's a MacBook camera. I feel like they're pretty good.
And when I like actually bring up my phone camera to like take a picture in here, all of it's like looks normal. But this thing just like washes everything out.
I just can't
in
believe
this
that you were
camera.
standing the whole time and I just never knew.
I know. It's like
Well,
and you
I
could
just
like
thought,
always see the chair behind me
yeah.
before.
Well, I think I thought you were sitting in it.
Well, yeah, but you would
And like
know.
I even knew that like the desk was high because I've been in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, he must really raise the chair.
Yeah, it's as high as it goes.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's wild.
Oh yeah.
I guess I still need to get Keaton a present too.
I do too. I bought him some new emblems for his car, but I was actually gonna see if he wanted some dark plates and I'd get him some of those.
I like my dark plates. I found the regular ones in the closet and I was like, oh, I forgot how big these were.
They're
Because
chunky.
they're too big that I couldn't. Because I was like, oh, I'll put them in the dark plate box just so that they're in something, but they're too big to fit in the dark plate
Yeah.
box, so
hmm
it just doesn't work.
We're
But
gonna we're gonna try to go to IKEA on Saturday, and I might like bite the bullet and get like a big entertainment system for under the TV out there, and that way I'll be able to like fit all the consoles in it instead of having them all
yeah, it'd
crammed
probably
in
be
there.
more breathable for them too. Maybe
Yeah, definitely. It
I
just
want to
depends
go
on
to
what they got.
IKEA, but I feel like I don't. I feel like I would actually use my desk more if I had a better desk because that's probably counter whatever. But then I also am like, man, I spent a lot of money this month. I probably shouldn't go to IKEA, but like IKEA
Yeah,
is like 4 hours away, so it's kind of a
yeah. And we would have
yeah.
bought from them earlier if their shipping wasn't so hellacious.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because they don't. Because I think that when they do that, they have their own people or something like drive them all the way here in a truck.
Wow.
Like I looked into it
Yeah, it's
because
not
the
very
delivery
efficient.
they do like in Seattle or whatever, it's like people driving there themselves.
Mm,
So I think that's why come it's so expensive.
yeah. But
But
you got to
yeah,
go get the Swedish meatballs, you know?
and there's a lot of stuff I want to do. Like we are going Friday after work so that we can have like the full day.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited too because we're staying in the motel above the theater. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Noise.
super dope. It's probably
Noise, noise.
haunted.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. Anyway, I got longer episode descriptions for this week, so I guess we can just jump in since it probably won't be as short.
hell yeah. I mean, there was a lot going on. They were pretty action packed.
Oh, yeah. Super action packed.
I watched
Um,
them on Monday. I was really tired, but so I made myself ride my bike while I watched them. But I
hmm,
had already walked my dog and gone to CrossFit, and I was just like completely like so tired. So I was trying like really hard to focus,
yeah.
but I like passed out afterwards. Like I went to bed like so early.
Yeah. So yeah, we continue the Vox Machina, the last three episodes of the season, unfortunately. So
Yeah, because they're 12 little baby bitches.
little baby. They make you wait a whole year and they only put 12 out. My God.
Yeah, those bitches.
It's definitely not hard at all to animate a full show. I
No,
mean, I
it's
don't know why they're
easy
so
peasy.
slow.
You just like draw a little bit and then you press play. Like that's it, you know?
They just hit a button, the computer does it for them these days anyway. God.
Yeah, it's 2023.
Yeah, come on. So episode 10 is called The Kill Box. And when we left off on episode 9, um, Grog had gone through all of his past demons and kind of reliving some of the stuff he used to do when he was with the herd, which is the band of bandits, I guess they are. Um,
Um,
Whatever.
yeah, they're I don't know if they're considered bandits, but maybe.
Yeah, there's something, but basically the episode ended with him confronting
His cousin
the
or his
the
uncle or
his
whatever.
uncle, yeah.
Yeah.
The uncle who leads them, Kevdak,
Mm-hmm.
who also happens to have one of the vestiges of divergence, which are the Titanstone knuckles, so gauntlets that he wears. Um, so we start out kind of on that cliffhanger, but before that, we see Keyleth Vaxvex and Percy all are returned to whatever the normal realm is called.
Yeah, just
Um,
like
Exandria,
Exandria,
Iman.
yeah.
Um,
Also it was very dramatic because he was like Grog was having like a moment where he was like talking about how his friends were his family or whatever. And then didn't he like say all their names or something and they just like showed up? It seemed very
well, you're
anime
like,
like.
wait, you're at the end of the episode, dang it.
Oh,
Hold on.
wait, what are we?
I just started.
Wait, for some reason I thought that was how the episode started.
No.
But I guess that's how this next episode starts.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, never mind. Everyone, forget
Spoiler.
let's just assume that they've seen it. Forget I
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah, if you're watching this, you probably have seen it, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Or you pity us and you just listen.
Right, yeah. You give us a pity listen and thanks
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah. Hugs and
Um,
kisses.
so the four of them come back through the portal because they were in the Fey realm and they got sent back by your weird mystical wizard dude who was pretending to be a satyr. Vax notices that Whitestone is not there. The whole city is gone. And so they're confused for a moment, but then Vax notices that a flower like kind of trips this little barrier, and it turns out the city is still there. It's just under a cloaking spell. So the folks in Whitestone, Cassandra, Gilmore, all those folks are keeping up this cloaking spell, but it's draining them pretty bad. Everyone arrives back, learning that their trip to the Fey Realm, while it was only 3 days to them, it had been 3 weeks in Exandria. So things have gotten progressively worse over here.
When you play D&D, there's like
Mhm.
a table you can roll for to see how much, like what the time difference. I'm getting a lot of lag also, so hopefully
I
that's
see that.
not a big deal. You've also frozen for me a couple times, but
Uh-oh.
anyways, there's like a chart, and so you can like roll to see like what the time difference has been.
So it's not always the same.
No, I think yeah. So like each time you go there, it can be different. Like it doesn't have to be. You could just like pick
Okay.
a static number. It's up to the DM really.
Well, all right. We'll be on the lookout for that. When they return, they admit that they have lost their other 3 party members, being Scanlan, Pike, and Grog, when they were separated. Allura is able to cast a spell to learn that all 3 of them are alive and they're hiding in Westrun. And at this time, through the little mystical veil, they see Grog step forward to challenge Kevdak. So they're seeing what's going on. Which, I mean, you think about this 3 weeks thing, this timing is immaculate because how did he perfectly challenge him right when his friends got back?
I was like not even. I don't even think my brain had registered that it had also been 3 weeks for the 3 that were left here. You know what I mean? Like because they don't directly talk to them about that. Really, I don't think.
Right? No, they don't. So happy coincidences.
Coinky dinks.
But back in Westrun, Grog greets his uncle, and he is here to finish what Kevdak started, is what he claims. He wants to restore honor to the herd, and he challenges Kevdak to single combat, even though he is still wimpy Grog. He has not really got his muscles back yet. So while he's doing this, Scanlan and Pike are watching in horror and hiding.
It's kind of like long and drawn out and dramatic.
It is. They're really building this up, like,
they're building
the talking
tension
between them. There's a lot of tension. And then Kaylee shows up, this other gnome that had been in the previous episodes that was hiding in the city. So she shows up trying to figure out what's going on too. And then the fight begins, but Grog did not bring a weapon, so Kevdak agrees to basically go fisticuff fight, even though it's still pretty unfair because he has the gauntlets on, in my opinion. So Grog attacks recklessly, but he is kind of getting his ass kicked. He's still wimpy Grog, like I said. All his hits pretty much do nothing, and he is just battered and bleeding by the end.
I mean, he looks very bloody.
Very bloody. Kevdak ends up taking him and shoving him onto a wooden spike. So he is impaled through the gut, which is not good. So Grog is bleeding, stuck to a wooden skewer, basically.
You can
Appears to be
barbecue him
beaten.
right up and you'd feed a village.
Pretty much, yeah. But then Kevdak sees his hiding friends poking their head around the corner. So the herd attacks them and beats them down. And Kevdak threatens Pike. And basically he's telling everyone, hey, I'm going to kill this little... Is she a dwarf or a gnome? She's a gnome, right?
A gnome, yeah.
I'm going to kill this little gnome. Who wants to watch? And, Grog is writhing in pain, angry. And at this time, he remembers Earthbreaker Groon's voice asking him, where does your strength come from?
Oh, this is the thing I was talking about.
Yeah. And finally, Grog realizes, and throwback to the previous episode that I said this, his power are his friends.
Mm-hmm.
So Grog is able to use his barbarian rage ability again, snaps the skewer off, and his muscles grow back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
He starts attacking Kevdak, this time landing blows that do damage. But Kevdak activates his knuckles and he doubles in size. Like, I didn't realize it also made him physically
Mm-hmm.
taller and bigger. Weird. Um, Kevdak pretty much beats Grog until he is barely conscious. Kevdak demands to know what made Grog think that he could stop him. And Grog gasps out, "Friends," as he sees the shadowy figures of the
You
rest of
sounded
Vox
kind of
Machina.
like a frog, actually.
Friends. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Because he sees his friends have arrived and they're on the rooftops climbing around. Um, the herd members laugh, but as Kevdak prepares for a killing blow, Grog calls out, "Vox Machina, fuck shit up."
Yeah.
And that's when stuff starts hitting the fan. So the rest of them spring into action and
It's
start.
a very anime moment, though, is what I was trying to
Yeah.
describe when I was ahead of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very much, again, with the perfect timing on everything, really
Mm-hmm.
worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they're killing many of the herd members, and Kevdak and Grog are able to continue fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Scanlan, is in the back playing a freaking metal song, and it was like all crazy. Um, I was on the exercise bike when I watched this, and it was like getting you all pumped up. You're like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good stuff. Grog is able to land a blow on Kevdak that nearly takes off Kevdak's arm. Kevdak rips it off the rest of the way and uses it as a club against Grog, which Grog was like, "That is badass." Like, it was pretty funny.
I mean, if it's kind of like that one guy who like cut his arm off to get out of the crevice.
Oh, right. The 127-hour guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's pretty rough, dude. All
Wow.
right. Woo.
That's funny.
Yeah, do it best. Okay, so he has one arm now, Kevdak does,
Mm-hmm.
and Zanror, still in chains, joins the battle. But it is not going well for them still, even while he has one arm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Vexalia is flying around on her broom, and she lets Trinket out of her Pokeball, for lack of a better term. And she shouts at Grog, asking if he wants to try something crazy, and he says, "Oh yeah." And then she puts him into the locket and flies upward and releases him from high above in the sky.
Wait, what happens to Pokemon when they're in the Pokeballs?
No one really knows.
Like, what if there's like a whole realm that they go to?
Could be. For some people, it's just like, oh, it's just like a hotel room for them.
Hmm.
Who knows?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So as Grog plummets through the air, he uses his blood axe and lands on Kevdak, cleaving him in two.
Mm-hmm.
Grog is also very hurt, and he crumbles slowly to his knees and then goes unconscious. Pike is able to come rush and heal him, and he is, not in any danger of dying, but still kind of messed up. But he is able to retrieve the Titan Stone Knuckles and put them on. And then the herd begins chanting "Strong Jaw" over and over again, kind of recognizing him as the new leader.
Oh, hell yeah.
But Grog notices his cousin Zanror, who is Kevdak's son. He asks him why he is shackled because he was still chained up. And Zanror tells him he finally stood up to Kevdak, and it did not go well. Grog lets him out of his shackles, raises him up, and makes him the new Thunderlord of the Herd of Storms.
Hell yeah.
Yep. And then he invites the herd to slay the dragon with him. And everyone's like, yeah, basically. That night, everyone's celebrating in taverns, serenaded by the troop and Scanlan. So everyone's having a good time. Vex and Keyleth fill in Pike about their adventures, and Keyleth knows Vax is standing alone, brooding like he oft does these days.
Oft.
Oft. He sees a vision of the matron of ravens, who he's kind of constantly being haunted by right now.
Mm-hmm.
But he's interrupted by Keyleth, who is asking him to come dance. It was
Mm-hmm.
very nice. She's a little tipsy. She got brave.
Mm-hmm.
But with his mind on the matron, he turns her down and walks away. And Keyleth sadly returns to the others. And Pike is also unhappily watching Kaylee flirt with Scanlan as they perform on stage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wait, is this still all episode 10?
Yeah.
Wow, for some reason I thought it ended sooner than this.
I know. They did pack a lot in these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Grog, Xanror, and Percy are all strategizing how they're going to take down this dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And drinking a lot. Good
Oh
time.
yeah.
And then towards the end of the night, Kaylee suggests to Scanlan that he escort her upstairs, making Pike sad.
Yeah, she does.
Mm-hmm. When they arrive at Kaylee's room, Scanlan immediately strips to his underwear and lies down on the bed. Like
He's very
does.
quick at taking his clothes off.
I mean, yeah. Kaylee pulls out a rope and wow, I didn't write this write up, but it says, and sexily ties his arms to the bedpost.
Bro, I don't think that she was really doing that sexily, but
No,
I mean,
she was doing it very like aloof, I would say.
yeah.
As she does, she tells him about her childhood. It was not ideal, and there was a mother that gave up everything for her.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the traveling troop stories about Scanlan, she'd already heard from her mother, oddly,
Mm-hmm.
who would be proud she's finally meeting the silver-tongued devil who whispered empty promises in her ear and then left.
Mm-hmm.
With Scanlan all tied up, she pulls out her knife and holds it up to his throat.
Oh,
So
yeah, she does.
that is where episode 10 truly ends.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Thoughts on the episode?
Well, it had also, sorry, what is it about Zoom that just makes my computer run like trash?
Dude, yeah, you're telling me. I get it.
I had always kind of been like, they seem like they look too much alike for that to be like, you know what I mean? Like I was like,
Yeah.
they look a lot alike. Like
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was
What's
very
going
odd.
on here? What's
Yeah.
really going on?
Yeah. Yeah. I did look up some information on the Titan Forge Titanstone knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
They are homebrewed by Matt Mercer and Travis Willingham, but they are a wondrous item. They're legendary. They require attunement. They are carved from the heartstone of a ruined earth primordial, and they bestow immeasurable might to the wearer. And then it has like the stats for if you were to, have this in your game, basically.
Yeah.
So your strength. There's 3 features. There's the dormant state, which is just when you're wearing them. I think that's why it's called dormant. Like I think you always have this, right? So your strength score becomes 22, so that means you'd have a +6 to your strength rolls. And the wielder gains the siege effect of being able to deal double damage against objects and structures. So if you're trying to like break down a door or something, you'd have double damage basically to do that.
Okay.
Then there's the awakened state, and in the awakened state, your strength score becomes 24, and you can use an action to grow or shrink in size, as per the enlarge reduce spell for 10 minutes.
You're gonna become Ant-Man.
Yeah, you cannot use this ability again until after a long rest. So basically once per day you can enlarge reduce for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then there's the exalted state where your strength score becomes 26. And while under that effect, the enlarge reduce spell is granted, and you gain resistance to fire, cold, lightning, and thunder damage. So taking half damage on all of those.
That's pretty good.
And apparently Travis, when he was coming up with Grog's backstory, he came up with the idea for the knuckles as being something that like Grog would want, I think. And then Matt Mercer incorporated them in as this vestige that appeared in the campaign.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's like I feel like that's like a super OP item to have.
Yeah, I'd say so. I guess that's probably kind of the point of them if they're that rare.
Yeah. And I mean they are trying to, like kill a bunch of dragons and shit, so
Yeah, they kind of need the power.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
We are in episode 11, which is titled "Belly of the Beast."
Oh, hell yeah.
hmm so we jump in again. Scanlan, almost naked, his arms are bound.
When is he
Um,
not?
Kaylee's sword is pointed on him on the bed. Um, Scanlan protests he has no idea that she existed, being his daughter. He spins her a tale of her mother and their loving relationship until he sadly had to leave. He's never gotten over Leia.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Kaylee's mother's name was Sybil, and I totally knew they were going to make that joke when they started, but it was still fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clear he has no memory of her at all. Scanlan admits that he's a horrible person, and he's not sure why, but he is heartbroken for not knowing about Kaylee earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess makes sense, if he's a
I think
decent
it's just
person.
like making him feel more human.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, I don't know, not like his little bard legend anymore. He's like actually a person.
Yeah. Have we really learned that much about his backstory?
No, not
Yeah,
really.
so he probably has like parental issues that caused him to be a man slut.
Yeah, he probably didn't have maybe the best upbringing, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
um so he's heartbroken and he invites her to stab him. Um but she
As
cannot
one
bring
does.
herself. Yeah, she cannot bring herself to do it because she's also, I guess, somewhat of a good person. Telling him it would only be helping him run away again. Um, she locks her apparently magical sword in place in the air, like on him, like trained like it's going to stab his chest, which was strange.
Mm-hmm.
And then at his throat as well. And then she walks out the door. Scanlan
Mm-hmm.
struggles free and gets out from under the sword to chase her, but she is already long gone. Too bad, so
Mm-hmm.
sad.
Those little
Um,
gnomes, man, they're sneaky.
they are sneaky. Downstairs, brooding emo Vax has joined with the others.
He would really
He's
do well in the early 2000s.
yo for sure. You see his outfit? I mean, damn.
Yeah.
He
I
sees.
can picture him as like a very specific type of person in high school.
Yeah, I would agree.
Mhm.
He maybe have a little bit of eyeliner on.
Yeah, he could drink some nos.
Oh, for sure. He sees one of the matron's thread of fate, which is that golden little thread that's been kind of hanging around these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he goes to follow it. And he is noted to leave by Vex and Keyleth both see him. So they're like, what the heck is he doing?
Yeah, where's this bitch going?
Yeah. It leads him to the town square where all the fighting was. So it's like bloody. There's bodies still everywhere,
Yeah, man, that must have been a thing back in the day. Your streets would just smell like
Oh God.
rotting blood and sewage. Like that's gross. Like, what do
The
you
best
think?
combination.
Or even like in Victorian times, like the sewage
Oh.
would just run onto the street. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
wonder how amazed they were when they solved that problem to just walk outside and be like, "Oh, it smells nice out," you
Yeah,
know?
is this what the world's supposed to smell like?
Yeah, that's or if people like came in from the country, that's got to be like
Oh
a shock
God.
to the system, you know?
Yeah, you like spend the day hunting out in the forest and you come back and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
So bad. Um
What a
yeah,
time to be
so
alive.
right. I don't envy it. Um so he is out with all the bodies and he sees a bunch of ravens with glowing red eyes out there. And then he sees a vision of the corpses rising up. Um and then being clutched by the dead, like they all kind of cling to him and they're like, and they beg him to usher them into the beyond. So I guess they're like in limbo right now, kind of stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Feel
the
like we all
golden,
are.
yeah, the golden thread snakes from his chest to the watching mother matron of Raven. So she appears now. He struggles against the bodies clutching him and cries out, "What the fuck do you want from me?" And then he falls to the ground alone among the bodies. Um,
Damn, bitch.
Eventually, he makes it back to the tavern because he joins Scanlan, staring into the night. Now they're both a couple of emo boys, sad. And Vax asks Scanlan if he's ever in his life had a change and not been sure what comes next. And Scanlan's like, yeah, all the time, basically every day right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's like holding Kaylee's sword and reminiscing about how a bad person he is. Um, and Scanlan realizes that you can't let fear hold you back, and he tells Vax to take the plunge, basically, about things you're unsure of.
Yeah, you just gotta dive in, bitches.
Gotta dive in. Um, we do get a little cut back to Umbrasyl, the acid dragon. He is speaking magically to Thordak, telling him he wants to acquire another vestige even more powerful than the myth carver that he already has.
Mm-hmm.
Thordak has not been happy about the delay of his gold shipments and all of his treasure, and he threatens Umbrasyl with his death before leaving. Like, basically, figure it out or I'll kill you.
It'd be like
Um,
that sometimes, you know?
Sometimes you just gotta let him know.
Mm-hmm.
Anna Ripley is still with Umbrasyl and assures him that with the gauntlets, they would not have to answer to Thordak anymore. They would be powerful enough on their own. Um, and he would continue to gain power while she gets resources. So it's like, yeah, it's a win win for us. We're just going to go rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the dragon says there will be one more collection before he melts the city. So he's going back to where they're all at to collect gold, and then he's going to kill everybody.
Mm-hmm.
In the morning, Scanlan tries to ask Pike's advice about his situation with a terrible metaphor about he's like, what did he say? He's like, what if you found out that you had a puppy and you tried to
Yeah.
sleep with that puppy?
Yeah,
And
I
she
think
was
there was
like,
like a different yeah. There's a different way that could have been phrased.
yeah, a few different ways that probably could have gone better.
uh
hmm So Grog is trying to lead the meeting to attack Umbrasyl, and Percy is just boring the hell out of everybody by trying to explain how they're going to trap him. Um, as he talks, Vex notices that Vax slips away again, being all moody and whatever. Vax makes his way through the mostly destroyed city at this point to a black temple that he's found, assuming to be an old Matron of Ravens temple. Um, he has noticed that Bex and Keyleth have both followed him here. So he's like, okay, come out, stop following me. Um, and Vax tells them that the Matron of Ravens is in his head, basically messing with him, which is why he's been so weird lately. And instead, he's going to try to go answer instead of running away. He walks in the temple alone, and they wait for him outside. Vex and Keyleth have a little exchange where Vex is like, I know you like him, blah, blah, blah. Don't give up on him. He's a little emo teen, but he'll get over it. And then they're like, okay, cool. Um, and then Vex just tells her, don't let him get away. Um, when Vax walks in, the temple is like kind of empty. But veiled maidens appear and escort Vax to a pool of blood around the huge carving of like a statue of the Matron of Raven's face.
mhm.
Um, he asks questions to the statue and receives no answers. And he decides to take the plunge by jumping into the blood, basically, and sinking.
Kind of gross.
Yes. And he realizes at some point while he's sinking, he tries to swim back up. He can't physically swim back up. So as his breath runs out, he gives in, accepting whatever comes next, and allows himself to sink to the bottom. This was apparently the right move because he wakes up in front of the actual Matron of Ravens in this weird plane of existence. And she welcomes him by saying champion. Um, and Vax assures her grimly that the debt for his sister's life will be paid. Like, hey, I know you saved her. I'll do what I got to do. Um, so she tells him that he is quote unquote fate touched, which is why he's been able to see the threads of fate. Um, and although all mortals must die, her purpose is to safeguard the beautiful moment when the soul transitions to a new purpose and to protect the sanctity between life and death. So she sees it as a beautiful moment where people are afraid of it. And basically, she tells Vax, you should not fear death. Basically, you're with me. Death is a beautiful thing, and you should not be afraid of it. and she reveals that she has been
Easier
watching
said
him.
than done, bitches.
Yeah, no kidding. I was like, yeah, don't worry about that. It's fine. She reveals that she has been watching him longer than he knows, as he was recklessly drawn to destiny. Um, so she kisses his forehead, and he comes out gasping in the bloody pool, escorted by the veiled maidens. Outside, Vex is horrified at his blood soaked appearance, but Vax is newly calm and confident that they're on the right path. And he's like, I'll explain it all to you. Calm down. Even though he was like drenched in blood. Pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
When they return, Percy is still explaining his planned dragon trap. But eventually, Grog is just like, just go do this. Don't listen to this guy. So they start setting up a trap for the dragon. As Kaylee leaves with the troop, Scanlan tells her that something's always been missing in him and she might be it. He's like, give me a chance, girl. I'll be a good father.
Oh
He could
yeah.
try to be the dad she wanted. Kaylee responds that after all the wrong he's done, he'd have to do a hell of a lot right, and then she leaves. Didn't even tell him where she's going.
Nope, she just walked off.
Yep. Later on, they lay their trap for the dragon outside of Westrun with the surviving members of the herd and Vox Machina in hiding, waiting. Umbrasyl lands, expressing anger at the meager amount of the offering. And they really only had like one box set out there for him. But he notices something's amiss. He sees the pressure plate that will activate the trap, and he starts to back away. But luckily, Vex shoots an arrow with her fancy new bow, which springs the trap and captures Umbrasyl. Everyone attacks as Umbrasyl is struggling to get out of the trap, but he does eventually break free. So
Mm-hmm.
now shit's really going to hit the fan. And to make matters worse, he can turn invisible.
Yeah, and he's pretty big too, so like
Mhm. That's a big invisible problem. So the battle continues while they're trying to fight an invisible dragon, which is going about as well as you think it might. The herd is being decimated by acid, and Vox Machina is not doing that well either. Grog is trying to use the knuckles, but he just can't find the dragon to hit it. Scanlan proposes to Vax that they need to get inside the dragon, but not through its mouth, through the other way.
I mean sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
Yeah, and he was like, I have a crazy plan. And Vax was like, oh, those are the best kind. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
um, so Vex is able to eventually break the invisibility on the dragon, and Grog is able to beat it up a little bit, not much. Um, Using Scanlan's hand, Vax and Scanlan go up to the creature's back end and into its stomach through that back end. So they are now officially inside of the dragon.
Mm-hmm. Every person's dream.
I guess. Sure.
Mhm.
The whole party attacks the dragon while he doesn't know what's going on because he's obviously distracted by other things. Um, Inside, they realize that they don't really have a plan. So Scanlan is able to use Kaylee's sword, magically lock it into one location so that when the dragon moves, it like pierces his insides.
Mhm.
Um, and they're like, okay, well that helps. He doesn't want to move because he'll hurt himself. Um, Grog, oh, that's too far. But long story short, it doesn't really work that well because then the dragon is just like, whatever, I'm strong, and he just lets the sword rip through him and gets away. Um, while he flies away, trying to lick his wounds, Grog throws his axe, which is attached to a rope, and probably one of the smartest things you can do is latch onto a flying dragon. So that's what he's doing, and he is dragged through the air behind it as it flies away. And that's the end of that episode.
Yep.
So just hitting the fan, dude. Things are
Yeah,
going
they
rough.
thought they had a good plan, but
And it did kind of seem like it was going to work for a minute,
Mhm.
but then it didn't,
Yeah,
which I suppose is
that's
often
that's
how
true.
plans go.
Yeah.
Okay. So that brings us to our season finale for
Oh
this
yeah.
season. And it is titled The Hope Devourer. Blah, blah, blah. Um, oh yeah, it opens up um, in a cottage by a waterfall. An aged Scanlan is reading to his grandchildren the tale of Scanlan Shorthalt, with some minor help from Vox Machina, slaying the dragon Umbrasyl.
Mhm,
His daughter Kaylee, mother of the children, serves milk and cookies while they have a good time reading bedtime stories.
mhm. Wasn't he also like, or was that at the end?
What do you mean?
At some point, he was like writing the story. He was like
Hmm.
sitting at a table and he was like writing the story into like a book. That might have been at the
Oh,
end though.
yeah, I think you're right. He's probably starting to like document their adventures or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But in his little vision, the pages dissolve into a message reading, "Wake up!" And he hears Vax yelling at him because
Mm-hmm.
he had got knocked out in the stomach of the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some reason, there's like a rock in the dragon's stomach that he hit his head on. Did you notice that? I was like, why is that in
I was
here?
like, what did he hit his head on? That's weird. Like, I
Yeah,
was just like, I don't know. I haven't watched the Magic School Bus in a while, but is there something hard in there? You know, like I was not sure.
he's got a stomach stone. It's unfortunate. So he is able to wake up, but they're still in kind of a bad situation,
Mhm.
stuck in the belly. And acid is starting to like pour in everywhere. On the ground, the rest of the crew watch the dragon escape. Helith transformed into a giant eagle to carry Pike and Percy, while Vex jumps on her broom and they fly in pursuit. The dragon is doing its best to knock Grog loose, so it's beating him on trees, it's whipping around in loop de loops, but he's holding on, man. Vax starts carving through the dragon from the inside. The sword hole that it made through his stomach, they're trying to rip it open so they can get out that way, because they can't go back out the way they came, unfortunately,
Nope.
due to the acid. No good.
I am just. I feel like the whole inside of the dragon would be acidic or whatever. I don't. That's not the
Oh
right.
yeah, I
It's like
agree.
it's weird that like all that they could be in there. I guess is what I'm saying.
Also weird how well lit it was in there. I don't know how that works, but
Maybe that's from the acid too. You know.
maybe, yeah, maybe it glows. Um, as Grog is hacking the dragon with his axe, it eventually turns and spits acid on him to get him off. Um, but he uses the Titanstone knuckles before hitting the ground, making him bigger. And so when he impacts, it's less damaging, but he still like breaks his leg and really screws himself up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Meanwhile, Vax is able to cut through the exterior, and they both fall out of the dragon. Scanlan catches them with his magical Scanlan's hand, but the dragon moves back and knocks him out of the air. And again, Scanlan gets knocked out for like the second time in the episode. So I don't know what his deal is, but he's having a bad time.
He's just a
Um,
little guy, you know.
he's just a little guy. As they fall to the earth, Vax is able to call upon the Matron of Ravens and surrenders to her power. And this allows wings to rise from his back, from his vestige, which stops his descent. He is able to catch Scanlan and then land on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty convenient right there. Meanwhile, Pike heals Grog as best as she can, but she runs out of energy before she can fix his leg. So he's mostly good, besides a shattered leg. No good. Um, they are finally grouped together again, and they watch the dragon fly into its lair in the mountain ahead of them. Vax urges them to attack now because Umbrasyl is wounded as they are, and they're never going to have a better chance, basically. Scanlan, however, is reluctant. He is feeling scared.
He's always feeling scared.
Yes. Inside of the dragon's lair, Thordak tries to contact Umbrasyl again, probably to bitch about gold one more time. Um, but annoyed, Umbrasyl destroys the image and ends communication with him.
Mm-hmm.
He then tells Anna Ripley about the ambush and Vox Machina are on their way. But those stupid idiots are bringing me more vestiges, so joke's on them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ripley wants to flee, but the dragon's like, nope, I'm doing this. And this dragon can magically heal himself, so he's really got all the magic things right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not who you want to go up against. Once they get to the dragon's lair, Vax volunteers to scout things out. Oh, I was like, what's up?
Just don't know what she's barking at.
Mm. Yeah.
She's been really extra lately. Like, even
So
extra for
extra.
her.
That's pretty extra, dude.
Yeah.
Damn. So they get to the lair. Vax volunteers to scout it because his vestige allows him to move very fast. Keyleth reminds him of their safe word Chenga as he strides inside. I don't really recall them setting a safe word, but I guess they did. Probably in season 1.
Yeah, it was probably like in passing or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Pike asks Scanlan if he's all right, and he admits he doesn't want to let his daughter Haley down anymore. She tells him that if that's true, then he should not let her down. Simple as that. Easy.
Mm.
Nothing worth it is ever easy. All right, so Vax finds the impaled head of their Sphinx friend, um, Cal Kamalgiori. Ha, got it. And the invisible dragon reveals himself to have been hiding. Vax runs away and he tries to use his wings to save himself, but then he gets burned down by a little bit of acid, so he's in trouble. Outside, Pike stays with Grog while the rest of the party charge in with reluctant Scanlan towards the rear. As Umbrasyl attempts to take off Vax's armor, um, and kill him, basically, they interrupt him, and Vex's keen hearing is able to detect the invisible dragon. So they're kind of learning his ways. They can kind of strike back.
Mm-hmm.
During the battle, the party is very much getting the worst of it. That's a way to write it. They're getting the shit kicked out of them. But Vex is able to rescue her brother. They run away. Scanlan urges them into a hidden tunnel. Vex regains consciousness as the dragon stalks above, seeking them. And unknown to them, the dragon's vestige, Mythcarver the sword, shows him exactly where they are. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
no
can just
bueno.
like see their, he like taps into their vestiges or whatever.
Yeah, he's like freaking, he's cheating, dude. He's got hacks, wall hacks. Vax tries to rally the party at this time. He's kind of the only one like, hey, we're meant to be here. We have to do this. I believe in the Matron of Ravens. Scanlan is defiant and says the Matron does not control his destiny, but Vax tells him he can run from destiny or rise to meet it. He's like, I don't really care at this point. Scanlan remembers Kaylee telling him he'd have to do a lot right, just as Umbrasyl breaks into their hiding spot, and he's like, surprise, bitch.
Wow, just like that.
Battle resumes as Vox Machina is continually knocked around. Umbrasyl scoops up the fallen Fenthras bow, so Vex does not have her bow anymore, even. Pike appears and attacks along with Grog, and the dragon disappears again. Scanlan is watching from hiding because he's being kind of a coward at the moment, but he remembers Kaylee's words to him.
I mean, he was leaving. Let's be real.
He was about to leave. He's like, I'm getting out of this
He was
business
like,
and
I'm
whatever.
not doing this and I'm gonna go.
Yes. The rest of the party slowly falls, but as Umbrasyl gloats over the 3 more vestiges they have delivered to him, Scanlan is able to sneak up, steal Mythcarver from the scabbard, and attacks, stabbing the dragon in the eye and unleashing a blast of magic that is able to kill Umbrasyl. From the shadows, Anna Ripley watches and then runs away. So they have successfully slayed Umbrasyl with the magical Mythcarver.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty nice. They realize that Scanlan has been partially crushed by the dragon falling on him. So they try to pull him out. Pike heals him frantically, saying she always knew what he could do, and she gives him a smooch.
Mm-hmm.
She tells him his daughter would be proud. Scanlan reveals he is conscious after all, and is just like, thanks for the kiss. You know, he was doing that whole. Have you ever seen The Sandlot?
I mean, yeah, obviously, but like
So
not in a long time.
there's that one scene where the kid
Oh, with
pretends
the
to drown.
lifeguard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's basically pulling one of those.
Mm-hmm. I'm
uh,
sure that inspired him, honestly.
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
IRL, like his, you know.
Oh yeah, got to. She hugs him. They notice a glow from the tunnel and discover the dragon's treasure. so much gold and goodies. And there, Scanlan finds a magical floating key that he keeps for himself. Woo, bless you.
That made my throat tingle.
It
Oh, I feel
stings.
like I like pulled a muscle in my neck when I sneezed.
Jesus.
That was aggressive.
Yeah, I gotta
Ugh.
watch out, dude.
Yikes.
At this time, Vax notices the figure of the matron watching from a distance, and they kind of give them each other the like, "Oh yeah, bro, thanks,
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge." Uh, Percy proposes they head to Whitestone, and Keyleth transports them there. They are greeted by the normal folks. At a celebratory meeting, Cassandra toasts the party. Um, they do point out that the three toughest dragons remain, unfortunately. And Yenin says she knows their leader, Thordak. She tells
Mm-hmm.
them to think before they act, and that not all is as it seems. Her form slowly shifts to become partially the green dragon Raishan, who is the
Mm-hmm.
female dragon. I can't remember what breath she had,
Mm.
but it was something. She reveals herself as having assumed the appearance of Yenin and easily stops Vax's dagger attack. She tells them that she's their ally, and to stop Thordak, they'll need to help. They will need help, moreover. She states Thordak, she hates him as much as they do, which apparently is saying something. She says he is insane, wanting gold not for greed, but for another purpose. Meanwhile, we get a flash to the dragon. The ice dragon Vorgol tells Thordak of Umbrasil's defeat and that it won't be long before they come for the rest
It
of
won't
them.
be long. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
You knew that song.
Well, yeah, it's a little more normal.
I mean,
Um,
even my students, I went to school the next day. And to be fair, I guess half of them were band kids. But I was like, do you guys know the song A Drop in the Ocean? And they were like, oh, yeah, by Ron Pope. And I was like, thank you.
nope, still don't know.
uh,
So this time Thordak only chuckles, saying that a new army awaits them that will soon inherit the world and bring glory to the Chroma Conclave. Hidden in a cavern beneath them are multiple glowing eggs, which appear to be growing near hatching. So that is the season finale and where it ends. So apparently he's making a little freaking dragon egg army, little bastard.
yeah, that part, I'm pretty sure I said like, oh shit out loud or something.
That's a no good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, um, there you have it. What you think of the latest three?
I, oh my God, Memphis. Um, yeah, I thought the shit was crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Mm-hmm.
good time. You mentioned it earlier, but the last three episodes they really packed a lot into, so it did
Mm-hmm.
feel like it was pretty constantly going. So
Yeah, man.
now I gotta wait like a whole another year or whatever.
But yeah, hopefully there's more.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
I mean, originally it was only 2 seasons, but I feel like it's done well enough that
Yeah, it's gotta have.
yeah. I guess yeah, so I found a couple reviews. I mean, you know how when you well, I don't know actually, but I use Chrome as my browser on my phone.
Yes, I
And
do too.
when you open it up, it'll give you little like stories that I think you'll
Hmm.
be interested in. It actually really annoys me though, because sometimes it opens up and it like refreshes. And I'm like, no, I wanted to click on that. Like it doesn't it it's annoying. Anyways, so that's actually how I found this one. I've had it open on my phone since like last Saturday.
Nice.
And I just hadn't looked at it yet because I hadn't watched it yet. But this is on CBR.com, which is some sort of TV website.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so this is the one that says the Legend of Vox Machina fails to capture Grog's tragic backstory.
Oh,
It says season 2 of the Legend of Vox Machina omits key arcs from Grog's rebellion in the Critical Role lore, which makes his family turmoil disappointing. Though I will say that when you're condensing 100 plus 4 hour long
yeah.
role play sessions into 25-minute TV episodes, you obviously have to sacrifice some things. And I do think it gave a decent amount of information for people who know nothing.
Yeah.
But this is by Ronaldo Manadine.
Mm.
So the first paragraph says the Legend of Vox Machina. In the Legend of Vox Machina, Grog has endured a turbulent second season. While season 1 just used him as muscle, he's now become corrupted by a mystical sword, so much so it's causing him to hallucinate, killing his own friends just to sate the blade's lust for blood. It's crafted a compelling character study since Grog is seeking power to heal Exandria. In addition, this weapon can help against the Chroma Conclave dragons, leaving Grog torn on abandoning it. However, as the show sheds insight into Grog's background and why this need for power matters, his history is vastly undercut when compared to the Critical Role lore. In Critical Role, Grog fell out with his uncle Kevdak over pillaging the lands. It resulted in Kevdak, aka the Thunderlord, beating the teen on the verge of death and exiling him from the Herd of Storms. He saw the Strong Jaw as a weakling, making it clear that with his Titanstone knuckles, only he was fit to rule. Grog would return years later to challenge his uncle. However, a big part of the conflict was the Game of Thrones-like scenario with Kevdak's son Zanror hating on his father's rule. In fact, it led to Zanror being beaten when he told the clan Grog survived being abandoned in the snow, all due to the fact his father's ego couldn't be slandered. To make it worse, there was a Wormtongue-esque figure from The Lord of the Rings in the form of Greenbeard corrupting Kevdak. He kept whispering in Kevdak's ear, spreading the Conclave's doctrines, akin to how Wormtongue did the same to King Theoden. Honestly, it's been like 10 years since I read The Lord of the Rings or watched the movies, but under the watch of Saruman and Sauron. It culminated in Zanror and his pregnant partner, Wara, being shackled for plotting a rebellion. Eventually, Grog worked with them, rebuilding their bond as they all finally understood oppression and suffering together in what ended up being quite a nuanced arc. So I guess that is a lot different. But again, for TV purposes.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably an easier choice to make just Kevdak like a dick instead of, that whole backstory and explaining everything.
It does say the cartoon, first of all, calling it the cartoon, doesn't do justice to Grog's rebellion at all by the time he returns to stop his uncle. It completely negates the drama of Zanror, wholly omitting Wara and just having him wanting to take his dad down as he's tired of serving the dragons. It's an understandable tantrum, but lacks the compassion, humanity, and soul of what transpired with Wara. That bond also got him to connect with Grog more, understanding what family really meant. Let's see. Wow, my computer smells hot. Jesus. It says, so Greenbeard not being around takes away from the trickery and tension of Kevdak's reign. The leader has the knuckles and the attitude, so one would assume he'd rise up and not want to be a slave. After all, he doesn't mind dying in battle or sacrificing his people. Greenbeard, however, helped make him subservient. Without the poison around, the show feels inconsistent with Kevdak's character and why he'd bend the knee. Instead, he should be eager to stop paying tributes and be ready to take the dragons down. Ultimately, this removes drama and heart from the clan because a corrupted Kevdak did garner some sympathy. Sadly, the series makes Kevdak quite generic and underwhelming while diminishing the brotherly bond Grog and Zanror had. It could have taken a couple episodes to flesh out the past a lot more, like it did with the other characters in the Vox Machina Fellowship.
Yeah, I mean, well, like you said, not everything is going to be able to be 1-to-1, unfortunately. Otherwise, we'd have, 85 seasons.
Yeah. Ronaldo has published 10,024 articles since June 17th of 2013.
That's a lot of articles.
Yeah, he's a former chemical engineer, and it was boring, so he decided to write about things he loves.
All right, well, fair enough.
Yeah. He writes about comics, cartoons, video games, TV, movies, and basically all things nerdy.
Perfect.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's hard because there's so many more things, and when you're streamlining something for especially like 12 episode seasons.
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
This isn't like One Piece where there's like 1,300 episodes,
Right.
I almost said 13,000, but I caught myself.
13,000.
And then the second review I found, which I really haven't looked at all, so I don't know if it's positive or negative, but it's on Game Rant, and it's by Joshua Christian McCoy. And it's just a review of the finale as season 2 of Critical Role's animated adventure comes to an end. The action is as stellar as ever, and the characters are still reaching new heights. So I'd say that's positive.
That's positive, yeah.
Oh, I'm getting like a weird like thing in my hand.
Like carpal tunnel or some shit.
Well, it's like coming up from like my thumb knuckle. It's weird. Probably. I pump my knuckles and I use my hands for like everything. So the conclusion of the second season of The Legend of Vox Machina sets the bar high for the upcoming world of Critical Role content. Just like the finale that came before it, it's a thrilling conclusion that also sets the stage for the following season. The legendary adventures of Vox Machina have reached multiple endgames as the series ends another season. Grog's emotional journey has been a roller coaster, taking one of the most simplistic characters throughout every imaginable state. He's been robbed of his strength and pitted against an impossibly powerful foe. Grog has been forced to reckon with his past as a dangerous brigand, and
Yeah.
he's chosen to deal with it the way he deals with most things. Episode 10 finally pays off the ongoing subplot of Grog's training. Though the answer is fairly obvious, it feels genuine to watch Grog figure it out. It all pays off in yet another stellar action scene, playing with simple, well-executed aspects of animation. Though it's taken a lot of fun side roads along the way, the headline event of this season is the final battle with the dragon Umbrasyl. Sorry, I'm skipping all this because it's just saying who Matt Mercer voices, which is like 1/3 of the characters.
Yeah.
Anyways, Umbrasyl is a solid villain and an appropriate climax for the season. Most of the final 2 episodes of the season are built around taking down Umbrasyl. Even as the battle picks up, multiple characters are struggling against their self-contained narrative stakes and learning new lessons from strange places. One of the strongest elements of the series is its ability to blend the tones seamlessly. In a film, it can be jarring to switch between cathartic action, violence, and wacky slapstick humor. In a TTRPG campaign, characters can often be living entirely different stories from one turn to the next. Vox Machina captures that spirit perfectly, snapping in quick camera cuts from a brutal exchange of blows to a large-scale puerile gag. It works every time. It flows like a single stream of consciousness, and nothing overstays its welcome. It's multifaceted and all-consuming. It's impossible not to feel artists having fun with their creations.
There you go.
Yeah, they applaud the brilliant guest stars. Apparently Thordak is voiced by Lance Reddick. I don't know who that is, but
so he's a pretty well-known actor. I mean, the most recent thing I saw him in was Resident Evil on Netflix, which didn't do that well.
Yeah, I started to watch it and then I was like, no, after 5 minutes. But I have heard The Last of Us is really good on HBO. Yeah. I just haven't watched it yet.
Same.
Yeah, maybe we could talk about that next. Because this method might be easier for me being busy, where we just like watch something and then like
that's true, yeah,
discuss it. Yeah, this is a really long review, but I'll just read the last paragraph. Oh, well, it's a simple piece of art that fires on all cylinders. Fans can now binge through the first 2 seasons and enjoy a chunk of the story that used to take days to get through. It's the best version of the story, bringing great material to a new format for a new audience to enjoy. The Legend of Vox Machina is an excellent fantasy adventure. It's nonstop fun in a world of frustratingly grim other options. These heroes still have a lot ahead of them, but don't forget to enjoy each new peak as it comes. Vox Machina proves that they're the stuff of legend once again.
Look at that.
Hell yeah.
So it's overall positive.
And then I scrolled down to just like that was the end, but the next thing says Twitch streamer Tectone accidentally leaks how much he has paid for his Lost Ark sponsorship. And it's a picture of an intense looking guy with a sword.
Snap.
I don't know who Tectone is. I don't really watch things on Twitch.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is either.
Some
dude paying for sponsorships.
Yeah.
All right.
And other non this related stuff. I was at Fred Meyer's the other day and I was looking at all the like athletic clothes on clearance because I was like, oh, I should get a couple more just like plain colored shorts or whatever for softball.
Yeah.
That are just like normal color, you know, like black and gray or whatever. And I got men's ones because for softball I wanted them to be like a little bit longer, you know. And then the men's ones always have pockets, and I got mediums. Usually I get smalls in men's because they were like a weird material and I have big legs, so sometimes it's like better, you know. But they fit like biker shorts because they're like 60% spandex or something.
Mm,
And I was like, okay, well, I can wear these to the gym, but I'm not wearing these to softball. They were
yeah.
only $12 each. So I got like 3 pairs of shorts for like one pair of shorts. And they're really comfortable. But I was like, this is not really what I was going for when I and they're mediums, they're men's mediums, and they like cling.
Hmm,
And I even like compared them to like other shorts I have that fit looser. And I think it's just whatever the material is because like the leg openings are like the exact same size.
probably weird.
Yeah. So that's pretty annoying. So I've been trying to find because I don't want to buy like expensive shorts. I've been trying to find like it's hard to find women's 5 inch inseams too. And sometimes it's I feel like it's a little bit easier to find men's 5 inch inseams these days, but for some reason it's really hard to find women's 5 inch inseams.
Hmm, interesting.
Yeah. Stupid.
I'd never pay attention to the inseam.
Yeah, well, I mean, well that whoa. Sorry. I think I like bumped the cord. Because I don't mind like some of the short ones, but since my legs are big, I don't really like the 3 inch inseams that much because they like ride up really easy. And
Hmm,
then like most men's shorts, I think are 7 inch inseams, which like hit me like at the knee because I'm short. So it's just kind of like weird. It's like a weird, awkward length.
I see.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
The more you know.
Um, yeah, that's unrelated, but
Makes sense.
finding things to buy. So, it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, just gotta spend that money,
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess we can wrap this one up. We don't know what we're doing next week. I guess maybe The Last of Us. We'll figure it out.
We'll see what happens.
But in the meantime, you can like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, download our episodes, leave us a rating and a review, send us an email to 5FIVE more minutes pod at gmail.com. Follow us on our socials at 5 MMPOD. And lastly, share us with your friends and family, your friends who are your family, and your family who's more like friends and family.
Yeah, you do that, and we clock out till next time. Easy.
Bye.